Last game of the night for Division 2. It is going to be London United versus Domino. Jamara, hit me with the facts.
I don't know whether
Love
or not
it.
we
Thank you so much. Dude, you're
got you.
amazing.
Got you. Not a problem. Always, it's what I'm here for. It's the hard cutting analysis every single week. You're welcome.
Guys, that's a wrap for today. I hope you've enjoyed the
Yep.
broadcast. Now, London United versus Domino. This is an important one for both teams, obviously. But London United, if we're talking about promotion, we could talk about relegation. And they need to appear with what we've seen at the end of the last split, which to me, it seems like they're not there quite yet.
Yeah, no. It's definitely been a bit of a you know,
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Look into us. Look.
yep,
Yeah, there you go. Solved.
you are, yeah.
Easy.
Been a bit of a rough ride for London United so far. Can kind of
Yeah.
say the same thing for Domino, sitting at 2-3 right now. So both these teams definitely want to pick up a win. We saw already, we've lost teams in the relegation for
Mhm.
Division 2. You don't want to be towards the bottom end of that. And London United, it would be an absolute tragedy, I think, when you consider their story from spring, where they were a struggling team throughout the entirety of spring, right? They picked up Neuded, and I think it was Fidel in the mid lane, and then all of a sudden they looked like a much stronger team. They were looking like they would push onto playoffs, and I think they were either one win short or it was like head-to-head technicality which they lost on. So it would be an absolute, bit heartbreaking, really, to see them go from, a team that even at that seeding could maybe push towards a top 4 finish to, in the summer split, falling into relegations. I think for Domino as well, just looking to try and repeat a playoffs run at the very least for summer. Picks and Ban's gone through already. Zeri off the table. Udyr, maybe perhaps. Domino were looking at what happened last game. Gwen, Wukong will ban the way, as Talia and Karma also join the ban bench. So we still have the Lucian up on the opposite side. Lily will be the first pick here for Waljo. But Lucian, Nami, both up. Yumi still up as well. All these picks, very, very powerful on this patch.
So if the Lilia is there, what can they bring? As you talked about, what are they going to favor? Are they going to just steal the jungle, or are they just going to slid away and wait for the reveal from the rest of the composition from London United? It seems like they want to go for the bot line. Yet again, we see the Lulu. I don't know. I have my question mark for Lulu is still high, high,
Has
high.
Lulu's lost every game she's been present in today, hasn't she?
I think she did.
Yeah, I don't
And
think
it's
she's
not only
been on the
today,
winning
that's the
side.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a interesting one. I remember last week, I think it was on the Monday, where we had the quick stats on the big wall behind us in the studio. I think Lulu was still 0% win rate after like 10 games or something really ridiculous like that as well.
She was.
So yeah, definitely struggling in NLC for now, but what we are going to get out of London United is an AD mid laner in Irelia. It is blind though, so there is an opportunity for counter pick here. Curious to see what Domino will take in response to that. But they have their jungler in Viego on Porcupine, and of course they have Zoophobia's Lulu. So expecting an AD matchup, or their AD to be locked for Domino on the bottom side. But London United picking up this very, very early area. It's slightly a different take to what we see with Lilia, where sometimes you'll often see, of course, the Yone, but they will also pick up the Yumi in this rotation. So they're matching the scaling aspect for now. But what I would expect is Domino look towards either a counter pick for this Irelia or the AD carry matchup so they can ban away some ADs. I think Evo path definitely very viable for now.
I can tell that she's sitting at a 10% win rate. So that is 10 to 12%. So yeah, that is complicated. This is one that I've been, yes, I've been hearing a lot about this, and we finally get it. It's going to be Sejuani top, if I'm not mistaken. It is a really good way to get the gank going in, because Viego just needs to approach, and there you go. You can get the Frostbite instantly alongside with the Viego stun. That's a lot of CC, a lot of tankiness, and Irelia is one of those champions that when she starts, she's like, okay, I'm going to destroy you in a few seconds. And you have a few seconds extra with the passive. So this could be a really interesting matchup on the bot to the top side for Sidon, unless they're going to surprise me with the Viego top. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to see. But what I will say is, if it's anything like I imagined, though, I haven't seen any Sejuani's with Viego on the same side. But The Viego passive, you know, the double proc, I think that will probably proc Sejuani's passive twice too. So that is a really, really fast permafrost stack up. That is my assumption because Viego's passive works as 2 auto attacks, I think, in most cases, because that's how it stacks up Kraken Slayer really quickly. So I imagine it is coded to work the same way with Sejuani passive, but this is, you know, spaghetti code that we're talking about. We'll have to see. But 2 hyper carries on London United side banned away, right? We've seen the Kog'Maw and the Jinx have a lot of success with that Lulu. Twitch, on the other hand, being removed away from the Yuumi end does make a whole bunch of sense. And it seems like we're going to actually go all the way down to a Varus pick, which we haven't really seen too much of since 12-10. Still a very powerful AD carry in my mind, and is going to provide a lot of lane priority into most matchups that are still up and available. I mean, London United here, I feel like they wouldn't have a bad time picking up the Lucian, but I don't recall how the Lucian Varus lane goes, because it's just not one that we see, like, ever. So we'll have to wait. But for now, this hover of the Aatrox I expect will be locked in, and now London United have the setup of their 2 solo lane AD picks with the Lilia, and they also have a Yuumi to buff up some of these bruises. And mid game is going to be absolutely absurd. So looking towards what Domino will be able to respond with right now, because Sejuani into Aatrox is probably going to be able to drain tank through that one pretty comfortably, right? Irelia is going to be towards the mid lane, so what will Domino look to pick up? And something like Sivir, honestly, it's an old school kind of answer to the Varus, right? You can spell shield out the Chains of Corruption. That's the main thing you're looking to spell shield. But of course, a lot of the spells from the kit of Varus very telegraphed, as I'm going to see a very high value, in my opinion, Cassiopeia pick. Because with that Sivir lock, yes, it has that 1-to-1 pretty okay matchup with Varus, but also you have to remember, she is there to enable all of these bruisers to move fast and forward towards the enemies. What does Cassiopeia thrive at? Dealing with diving members. So I really like the response here from Domino. We'll see how Sarah gets on with this Cassiopeia pick, but Domino across the board, honestly, fairly strong draft. I think 2v2 they can probably play towards in the early stages. Sarge, however, if he plays a very strong Irelia, can make that one very difficult. But then they also have the scaling aspect of that Cassiopeia, the Varus as well, depending on what build he goes. I think London United are going to hit a really, really heavy spike in the mid game. But then after that, we're going to start to see it slowly start to slip towards this Domino side. But again, execution is going to be key because there is so much burst damage here available. There's so much scaling through the Yuumi and those bruisers. We actually have a really banger draft on our hands, Archer.
It is. Like, to end the day, this is the best draft I could hope for. I really want to see how this is going to fare out. Nothing of the expected. That's all I can tell you guys at this moment. I think this is going to be an on-hit Varus. It's not even going to be one of those poker Varus.
Yeah, no, poke.
Yeah, doesn't make sense versus Sivir.
Yeah. It doesn't really make sense. Also, you're against bruisers who are going to be healing on like a 5-second cooldown with Yuumi on their back, and obviously have healing in their own kits too. So I think poke would be kind of maybe not the best idea.
Griefing, yeah.
Borderline griefing, but at the end of the day, maybe it can work because you have so much anti-dive. But we'll see. We'll see what exactly can be done with this Varus and what build path we'll get. Like you say, I feel like we're just going to see something like Shield Bow, Gwinsu's kind of build here. Blader and King as well. And we're just going to get, kite back Varus, survive with the Lulu, get all of your DPS down.
What else we're going to get? We're going to jump into Summoner's Rift as soon as the teams are capable of doing so. London United, if they take this one away, they can tie up versus Domino and actually take their spot because they're going to have the lead in terms of head-to-heads. If not, Domino are just going to escape the grasp of London United. And welcome back to the last game of the day. It's going to be London United versus Domino. This is going to be a spicy one. There we go. It's going to be Varus with attack speed, with a lethal tempo. On the top side, Sidon coming in with the Ignite TP for the Sejuani.
Yeah, and of course, something to note, as we didn't do it in Champ Select or the build-up. Sidon, of course, subbing in for Ripped today. Ripped, typically the starting top laner for Domino, but Sidon will be taking his place for the London United match. See how he gets on. In a matchup where, I mean, honestly, I saw the Shy get solo killed today by Sejuani on Mordekaiser of all things. So honestly, Sejuani can have a pretty strong laning phase. You'd be surprised. A lot of high base damage that you can't really underestimate. And let's not forget that, of course, access to Bammies. I think been a little bit cheaper, and of course the tank items in general just getting a little more love in terms of the amount of full stats they have. Very, very powerful, but let's see what Super Big Fun can do on the Aatrox side of it. I expect that he should be just fine.
Going to be a slow start as Lilia. We've seen Lilia's really fast in terms of clear, like Pop did at NLC Division 1. He actually surprised everyone with his jungle clear. If he can do it and go to the top side, maybe he can invest something on the Sejuani. Maybe Sejuani could be an easy prey for Aatrox to begin with, because if you can take away one kill in favor of Aatrox at the beginning of the game, that should be more than enough to allow him to just cruise through that line. If it's the opposite, well, it's going to be those slow and long fights between top laners, and you will never know who's going to take it. Grievous Wounds has been nerfed, by the way, so if Sejuani wants to go for that Bramble Vast, the healing reduction is not going to be as strong as it was, which means Aatrox is going to be kind of powerful, I would say.
Yeah, no, definitely the case, and Yuumi on top of the Aatrox is just going to make it even more impressive, so we'll see what Domino decide to do about that healing aspect, of course. Maybe a Preach Frag can coming for Zoophobias after a little while. Of course, competitive play, it can be a little bit rare to see the supports hit 2 items, but honestly, in a slower paced game's going 30-35 minutes, a lot more consistently, definitely not out of the equation that it can happen. Sarge, going to crash in this wave, probably look to get a recall in. Perfect CS, by the way, right? 23? No, he's missed one.
Yeah, he missed one. Only one so far. I would say that's a good.
You know, it's all right. I guess
it's all right. Pentakill. I can live with that.
Don't worry. Hey, look at that. Rusty Sniper also missed one CS. Well, that's actually because Buzzy managed to take it, apparently, according to the scoreboard, unless it was a ward that they cleared.
Porcupine is on the top line, trying to get Aatrox going down. There you go. The stun is going to connect. Now it's going to be the follow-up, and there you go. That's a permanent CC we were talking about for this lane. It's an easy gankable lane, and Woodjoe wouldn't go to the top side, so that's kind of punishing. Zero now in the mid lane is going to try and run away from the Irelia, but slowly is going to get chirped down, but there's not enough damage to take down the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Sarge stacking up this wave. Woodjoe can very easily take this Raptor camp and then just move towards the mid lane. Go and maybe try and push Zero off the wave itself. We'll have to see whether or not we get something super hyper aggro like that, but at the very least, is going to be able to use this pressure to pick up the other Skull on the opposite side of the map. But Porcupine not going to really feel too fast about it because got first blood on the top side. Picked up Super Big Fun, and like you said, that perma CC is going to be so obnoxious to deal with.
Not only that, but look at the item path that he's going to take as a Viego. He's going straight up for the shield bow. We've talked about this. There's a lot of critical strike.
It could. Well, we still have to
Blade.
hold our breaths. Yeah, Blade During King is also still very much possible, but definitely things, you know, the mythics, the crit mythics rather, to be a little more specific. Shield bow, maybe a little less. Kraken Slayer, we started to see in the LPL, actually. I've seen a couple of times. Kraken Slayer can be fairly strong, depending on the game, whether or not you can get bursted out quite quickly. I remember when Viego first came out, I was playing Shield Bow as Sarah. Not going to have much mana to help bring down Sarge's HP bar, and Woodjoe is here. But yeah, I recall playing a lot of Shield Bow Viego, and it feeling really nice, because of course, like you were saying, a lot of Viego's skills, most people don't know this, have crit strike scaling. I know the Q does. I can't remember what portion of the Q it is. I think it's
the second part, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And the Ultimate as well scales off of crit chance, the execute damage that it deals. But of course, we've seen since Viego's release, it has mostly been centered around those Sheen items, not the Essence Reaver, of course, but Trinity Force, Divine Thunder in particular. So it's kind of just been overlooked, shall we say. But of course, going for the critical strike builds does leave you a lot squishier, and Viego, being a melee champion, getting in the mix of it, which makes it very difficult to go to those builds. A Super Big Fun.
World Ender, Sidon trying to step away. Level 6 is still not present on the Sejuani, even though she was the one getting the first blood. He's going to flash, he's going to smash, he's going to take the kill. Super big fun now with the Conqueror. I don't see Porcupine winning this one, especially when the enemy is there, but it's going to be 1-for-1. Now, will he be able as an Aatrox to slowly ship down on the Lilia? There you go, slowly but steadily. The flash is going to save him. He doesn't have level 6, so he cannot use the execute. It's going to be a 1-for-1, both junglers stepping in on top side, but Lilia not even getting an assist.
Yeah, Lilia wasn't able to get there to the play in time, unfortunately. Porcupine missed the first 2 sweet spots on the Darkened Blade once he possessed Super Big Fun. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to take Ultra down. How about you imagine the amount of damage that Aatrox was doing? He would have probably had it. But we'll hit level 6 now. We'll have ultimate to the access to the Heartbreaker. And so far, Porcupine having a pretty good time of the Viego right now.
Look at Zoophobia. He's holding his ground, waiting for the bot lane to rotate it to the top side and maybe getting something out of that. Porcupine yet again on the top side, but now there's a double ultimate, so that would be the perfect spot.
Honestly, I really like what Domino are doing here, just putting a whole bunch of pressure into Super Big Fun, because right now the mid lane matchup, kind of whatever, right? Zero can very happily scale and sit here and hit his items. Yes, there might be a little bit of pressure now that Sarge has level 6, but seems like Seraph now has been piloting it to pretty good success. And on the bottom side, seems like the call generally is just that we don't really care too much about this dragon. Sivir and Yumi have priority over us for now anyway. So we're just going to give it up and allow it to go over. And we're just going to try and snowball the Viego. Yes, you know, it is effectively ganking your Sejuani tank lane, but Viego getting ahead in a matchup where, you know, there's 2 bruisers that he can very quickly chunk down himself. Don't feel too bad about it when he's being backed up by the rest of his team.
This Sivir is going to take a long time to be online, but with Yumi on his back, so far he has been capable of farming really, really well. We were talking about Irelia in the mid lane, getting that perfect farm, but in my opinion, it's actually Sivir that is popping off in terms of farm. And there we go, Sidon. He cannot get close enough to the wave. I thought he would go with a Tear of Goddess to start and stack up from Bullwinter and allow you to also push the wave as fast as possible with your W. It's really spammable, really low cooldown, but he opted for the Bami Sinner because it was buffed and he thinks that's more than enough for the wave clear. But he will slowly run out of mana, and if he runs out of mana with the Bami Sinner, you need to be close to the target, and that's exactly what Aatrox wants.
Exactly. So,
he missed the siege.
Miss it. It's all right. Yeah, it happens. -1.
-1. There we go.
-1. That's how it goes. And also, so Johnny has like a really weird auto attack animation, especially for a laner. You know, for the jungle, it doesn't really matter. You're just like lowering the HP bar of your target. But in lane, definitely feels a bit odd to use sometimes. As it's going to be a really, really fast. Actually, we can see. Yeah. Okay, I'll talk about what I want to see in a second. Because I have a whole bunch of
gets the perfect TC. Everybody goes freezing. Rusty Sniper goes down for double kill for Vados at this point. Zero now. He has to get away. He had enough. And meanwhile, Porcupine is slowly approaching with Super Big Fun. And Super Big Fun would be the one to tip the scales, but Blood of the Ruin King, by the way, already completed for the Ruin King himself. Oh, this is such a good start for Domino.
Yeah, Domino off to the races for now. Hellman picking up those 2 kills. He's going to be able to shove in this wave. Maybe base if he wants to. They even picked up the Herald off the back of it as well. So Domino just won out on all fronts. They won the fight. They won the objective. Now they're going to be able to snowball wherever they want on the map. And whilst typically, you know, the usual question, I'll assume that they are okay. We'll have to see. We'll talk about the replay now as Zero gets jumped on, and yeah, just Miasma into Perma CC off the Petrifying Gaze into the Frozen Prison. It's just not really much you can do, unfortunately. And Sarge just goes a little bit too far forward on this occasion. Yeah, like I was saying, normally, you know, the question is, where do you want to see the Herald dropped, right? Do you want to see it to advance your hyper carries for the late game or a strong member? Right now, that strong member is Porcupine, so I just want to see Porcupine drop it in a place where he can get the most available plates so he can snowball himself, and they're looking to actually just dive Super Big Fun, and he can't move! Oh my god!
Permafrost is called Permafrost for a reason. It's not only that skill, it's a lot of CC you can provide alongside with the Bramble Fist already. So it doesn't seem like he will heal from anything.
Sarge.
He's a slippery little snake going in for charge. Sarge cannot charge on the enemy because he cannot move. Well, you wanna talk about CC? There you go.
That just looks unfun. Plain and simple. Like, Mercury Tread purchases need to be acquired immediately. And you know what? I'm gonna be a bit mean. Reed, because it's Div 2. Do any members of London United on the top side not have tenacity in their runes? That's a Domino member. London United, brother. I know it's been a long day. Okay, so he has Legend Tenacity, and I assume Sarge, Legend Tenacity. Okay, good. Now what we need to see is double stack. Does Yumi have it as well?
No, Yumi doesn't. I don't think she has.
Oh, okay. All right. So what we need to see is some Mercury Treads. Otherwise, that is just going to happen for the rest of the game. Now, Herald's going to be dropped in the mid lane. And there's going to be a whole bunch of plates given over to Zero and Porcupine, and that's really important. But Super Big Fun is entirely alone on the top side. Yeah, and he just got 3 plates by himself, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Rusty Sniper also got a lot of them. Oh, Buzzy by himself. That's not how you want to be as a Yumi. But yeah, Rusty Sniper was alone on the bot side. It's going to be a 3v1 because I don't think Vados is going to approach in time unless they want to fight this one. Rusty Sniper going way too low. The piercing shot is not going to do any sort of damage. Wuju is there, but would you go that far? I don't think so. Irelia into the mid lane alongside with Zero. Both mid laners trying to find anything, and now this means that both top laners are alone. And I don't know if Sejuani is capable of handling the Aatrox 1v1 now.
No, we'll have to see. I think Gordon has to come in 1v1. Definitely a little bit tough, right? No, oh no, Anihil has picked up. Bramblevest is there, so at the very least we'll be able to kind of cut down some of that. But you can see, you know,
Aatrox space tanking them though.
Yeah, yeah, but you can see he doesn't really care too much. So he will definitely become a bit of a nuisance on this side lane. See how Sidon handles it as things go on, but the objective of the lane has kind of been met, right? They've snowballed the Viego at the very least, and the Aatrox, for now, I wouldn't say is a non-factor, but it's definitely a little bit, or was a little bit behind until he picked up 3 plates. Actually, where? Yeah, thank you. He's ahead of Sidon because he's got such a large CS lead as well. So I mean, I'm not particularly surprised at that, but still, Aatrox maybe actually does get. I'll take back my previous statement. Probably will get to Spike sooner than he perhaps wants to do. I'm gonna call him out. He forgot to buy as he walked off the platform just now. Or at the very least, he forgot to buy his boots. I think he got his Gordon, not his boots, but he has. Yeah, he has played steel caps.
He has played it, yeah. He's
not
going for tenacity. He's going for the auto attacks. He's afraid of Varus and Viego.
I don't know, man. Like,
well, this is the first time Rusty Sniper is going to interact with this sort of a composition, and I don't think he likes this. Buzzy is going down as well. Double kill for Hellman alongside with the Kraken Slayer. So they don't have any sort of plate. Oh, but there you go. Sarge in the mid lane with Wuju. They take down the Snake, and meanwhile they're going to lose the bot lane turrets. Can they actually capitalize on anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, London United. Like, cool. Picking up Zero, really nice. Get his flash, get his exhaust, get his ultimate. Ultimate's going to come back up pretty soon anyway, because he's... the ultimate has a very low cooldown, has the boundaries anyway. But they're not picking up the tower. Like you said, there's no real objective gain here, and we'll see how it happens. Sarge misses out on the stun, hits the ultimate, flashes away, and yeah, it's just Wulju who flashes forward and gets that sleep in. There's just not really much that Zero can do about it. Zero probably played that as well as he could have from the start of the scenario, but unfortunately can't make it work. Porcupine doesn't have any heal.
This is live. He has the ultimate available, just waiting for some sort of support. There you go, and look at the Blade of the Ring King doing his damage, but the Guard Drinking getting the sustain, it's not enough. It is a close one, but it's a 4-0-1. The shutdown is there, Jamar. Eventually, the vehicle will go down, and he's going to be, well, cashing for the enemy team.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Porcupine is going to have Lulu on his back pocket. He's always going to have Sidon there to facilitate this very, you know, aggressive playstyle that he's been having so far. So I don't think he's really at much risk. Right now, just the Blades of the Ring King he's definitely going to be a little squishy, so I'm going to want to see him pick up his mythic very soon. Curious to know what he'll want to do. Having rushed Blade, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go Triforce in a game like this, to be honest with you. A lot of squishy members, right? Like, between the Sivir Yumi and the Lilia, depending on where the build goes from here. But I would like to see just go into the Divine Thunder just so you have a little more survivability compared to what you'd get out of a Triforce. And Herald gets popped in the top side. You'll just get the charge in. Nothing more beyond that. And they should also pick up the mid lane tower, right? I think Sidon just going to get that just about below Leaf, although RC Sniper. Oh, no.
Not even close, says the minion. Mission accomplished as he goes down on the Siege car. And, well, they open up a lot of the map. And looking into this team, a team with a lot of CC, Jamada, vision is the top priority, I would say, for London United. But if you're the one without those turrets, the outer turrets, I don't think you can afford that vision. You have to walk along with your teammates, and everybody has to buy control wars and all that, or else you're going to lose.
Yeah, agreed. And, you know, it seems like Sarge is the only one that got the memo for this game. He's the only one with the Merc Treads.
I don't understand.
On the top side, at least. Like, you understand Rusty Sniper, obviously, going B Greaves is the AD carry. He's got cleanse, no problem. Sure, fine. Buzzy's playing Yuumi, so if he had boots, I'd be concerned as to why he's present in pro play. But Watcher and Super Big Fun, man. I don't know. I get it, but also, have you seen how things have been going in some of those tower dives? Sarah's on the opposite side of the map here, and
he has tenacity. Let's see if it saves him. Well, you can just miasma. You were outside of the bushes. That is one for the edges. It's going to connect with your mind. It's not even within the game. It's with your mind. As the dragon is available as well, it's going to be the second one in favor of Domino. There's nothing London United can do to stop this one. And Sidon doesn't even see Lilia. So he's going to be in the mix of two of those. He's going to lose one turret. Wait. Buzzy? You're a lonely cat. But it's not enough. Okay, Sidon doesn't even need tenacity because he runs away from the book. Meanwhile, we're talking about an attack speed Varus, so he has a lot of damage on those turrets. Lulu is going to help him as well with all those whimsies, I would say. They lose another turret, they lose another objective, Jamara. It's slowly falling down in favor of Domino, and I don't think London can stop this one.
Yeah, no, it just feels like a bit of a slow bleed here. London United just haven't really had much of a leg to stand on this entire game, to be honest with you. Domino have had control of the tempo from start to finish so far. And they've just been controlling the map top to bot. And their carries are online. 2 items for Porcupine, 2 items for Hellman. Actually goes Blade the Ring King second after Kraken Slayer. Did say either way it was going to be on hit Varus, so just curious to see this iteration of the build. Nothing more. Still very, very strong, and Sarah even just hit the Rylai's on top of that.
We have a Rylai Scepter on Cassio, so that means that Slow is going to be there present alongside with all that CC. I think that's the specific reason why Hellman went straight up for the Kraken Slayer, because he's like, I don't need shield bow because I have a lot of protection.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't need shield bow when you got a Lulu. Simple as that. But for now, we haven't really had to see much of a 5-on-5 team fight, to be honest with you.
And that's the thing that London wants. They want to stay away from those fights. I mean, they have the Sivir and all that, but until they can build a proper advantage, which is not even close right now, I don't think they can afford to go a 5v5. So they're trying to look for something. What do you reckon is the clear window to tell London United to go 5v5?
I mean, I don't think London United can 5v5 at this point. And that's kind of the problem. I think if they are on even footing, it would be okay. But we'll see.
Easy Sleep gets the good ultimate. The Petrifying Gaze doesn't connect with Irelia. And even though he has tenacity, talking about tenacity, the entire squad approaches, which means if Wuju goes down, this is an easy Baron. And I don't even think they want the Baron right now. I think they want to go for Rusty Sniper. There's a lot of damage coming in from the Porcupine, but slowly they've bought, well, I was saying they were going to back off, but Porcupine is not on the same page as I was, as they're going to approach that Baron, and that Baron is going to melt like butter in the summer.
Yeah, indeed it is. I like the way that you dropped that line, Archer. That Baron is going to do just that. As, yeah, this just feels like a bit of a foregone conclusion, to be honest with you.
I think this is what they needed. Now they have enough.
It's a waiting.
Tell me, Jamada, what is on your heart?
What's on my heart? I'm waiting for Domino to win this game, hopefully, for their sake. As London United, they find the bowling ball on towards you. Zero does get locked down here, and even though he does go down, look how much damage Porcupine is dealing. And he just one-shots the Aurelia. Walju is going to be dropped here. Too many members on top of him, and you can just see how strong Porcupine feels. Even though that's not his form, has the Heartbreaker Ultimate ready and available. And it's just stepping really far forward because, again, he knows how strong he is.
With this moment right now, Thornmail completed. We're going to go through the last items because this could be the last fight. The Rage Blade is already there alongside with the Shredelius for the bot side. Zophobias also with a little bit of anti-heal as Zero is trying to fight that heal right now. But they took down the Lilia and they want to take down the Sarge. You may dash throughout the entire earth, but double kill comes in. Clean for Hellman as he sends him to hell right now. And he's going to sit and wait for 32 seconds. 32 seconds, I don't think they have that time available as they're going to try and push some lanes. Sejuani immediately, Sidon goes into the mid lane, tries to get that wave going in as well for the T2, but now they approach the inhibitor turret. This is going to be an easy one. The book is open, but the book is writing down that it's going to be a game for Domino if they're capable of taking this inhibitor. The minions are approaching the mid lane as well. They're trying to take the T2 and maybe another inhibitor for free while Irelia is still not alive.
Yeah, and off the back of that inhib, like you say, just going to very easily and quickly shift towards the mid lane. But Sarah, not the most health to work with, so perhaps they could actually catch him out. It's big fun.
Ooh, that is not what they wanted. Zero slowly gets the shield, runs away. It's a slippery snake. A super big fun is on the back line, but he's not having fun this game. You know that is the reality. As meanwhile, Zophobias is the one on the front line trying to help Porcupine. Porcupine versus the Lilia. Lilia is fast, comes in with a watch out beep, and that's not enough damage. The Ruined King has a blade of the Ruined King. He goes in deep, and he still gets the sustain out of the soul of the enemy. And with 30 seconds to spare on two of the members that got any sort of golds this game, I think this could be a Jamada for Domino.
Yeah, I think it just about could be, though the death timers are really short. We're 24 minutes into the game. So whilst it might not end here, I feel like spiritually the game is very close to the end of its tail. It seems like it will just be the inhibitor tower this time around. And Domino will just retreat back to the safety of their base and likely just reset and look to set up shop somewhere else on the map.
They still need a convincing win or another objective to help them close in that barrier. Maybe that dragon that is going to spawn in 4 minutes. They just need to hold on a little bit more. Meanwhile, London United have some sort of window. They have those 4 minutes, but in 4 minutes, can you farm? Can you reach those item points, or maybe get enough vision control where you can make the pick, you the one making the pick versus the enemy, and try to tip the scales to a 4v5 in your favor? It is a big question. Obviously, I would say that's a resounding 80% no, but it's League of Legends. There's always a shot.
Yeah, unless one team has an 11,000 gold lead and like a 2-item lead in almost every role. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Sarge making something happen here on the side lane at the very least. But I think
Zero is asleep and Zero is dead, but it's a 1-for-1. That's not what they wanted. That's not the math they wanted. Wujo now with the assistance of Yumi is going to get slow, but then
Permafrost didn't come down.
Yeah, too far away.
Just how things go sometimes. Unfortunately, not able to pick up more. But I mean, this is the thing. Like London United, they're trying to make these picks right, all well and good. But unfortunately, each time you go for it, you just end up trading 1-for-1. at worst. And it's just going to allow Domino to try and siege forward. And Porcupine, I mean, yeah, look how much damage he's dealing. Yes, Super Big Fun did heal up a whole bunch off the Yumi, off of his own damage. But again, the fact that Viego is dealing that much damage 25 minutes into the game, bit problematic. This inhibitor is not going to quite fall.
Porcupine.
Porcupine wants it. He really wants his inhibitor to die, but he is going to regen. And don't forget, look how fast it's regenning. Super Big Fun trying to get on top of him. And actually, that chain pulls him back.
The chain pulls him back, and Porcupine is forced to use his ultimate. It's not a big cooldown as well, so they can fall back with no issues whatsoever. 26 minutes in 2 minutes, he will have his ultimate back for what could be the soul, and probably a good fight. I don't even think London are able to afford to get out of their own base, so I don't think they're going to fight for that objective.
Yeah, no. Just doing your best to stay afloat, and I'm not sure if fighting for that is the way that you stay afloat, unfortunately, in this game. Domino have just come out with a really, really strong game and a draft, in my opinion, which has heavily shut down any avenue that London United could have potentially found. I think, realistically, London United maybe needed to wait till 6, right? But Domino were pretty quick to pull the trigger on pulling leads from the top side in the jungle, and then eventually it just bled towards the rest of the map. And it just felt like a bit of a waiting game for the last 10 minutes, it feels.
It's not on the Dragon. It's on the Baron that Domino wants to dominate. They have the orb. They know it's being done, but they handshake it and say, you can take it. It's not like we can afford to go there. Meanwhile, this leaves a little bit of time to Sarge to push in a minion wave. He TP'd to this one to make sure they could push in. That is a bounty. That would be cool. But do you have time while the minions are approaching your base?
I mean, sure. Bounty going to be picked up. Very close to dying. But yeah, like you say, they're on the base and they're just going to look for a fight off the back of it.
They're going to go look for it with the Glacial. They have the Sejuani on the front line. She tanks enough. Zoophobia is the one being dragged by the chains. And Super Big Fun is capable of finally taking one
that's
big
a 3-man
target.
sleep.
That's a 3-man sleep. Everybody goes down, but 3 men petrifying. CC for CC.
That's
and meanwhile,
it.
Porcupine finally joins it. And look at Super Big Fun. No. This is such a good tag. 45 seconds, Yamada. 45 seconds.
They can't end, but they can at the very least get a lot of tower gold here. You're going to see the teleport down towards the bottom side. Yeah, it's all about the bounties, and that's the important thing. They need that wave from the mid lane to catch up, but it's just so far away. So at the very least, they should get 2 towers in the mid lane. That bottom side tier 2, that is a huge gold swing. With all the additional bounties, it's going to be up to 1.5k, I think. Everything factored in, something like that off bounties, it's going to be something crazy. You're going to see 180 off that. Right now, I think the top of the screen, I've never actually figured out how the bounty system works off the top of the screen. Super Big Fun is not taking this tower. Odd choice, but sure. But they only picked up 1 tower in the mid lane, so even that, winning that fight, and it still kind of feels a little bit underwhelming off the back end of it. Definitely feels a little bit unfortunate to a degree, but Domino proving that they can misstep, and that London United do have a composition that, at the very least right now, can start to stand up, right? It's been a long enough game that Rusty Sniper has 300 CS on the Sivir, has 3 items, and a BF sword to boot on top of the Infinity Edge. He is strong, but how strong is realistically the answer? That was, if we're going to be real, a pretty near dream scenario team fight for the London United side, but it's about whether or not they can find it again now that they are potentially...
I recall someone sighing, as I said.
I did. No, I did.
I'll
hold my hands up, but it's League of Legends, yep. It's League of Legends, brother.
We've seen Division 1 fall
God,
a specific team, and you know that, so... Oh no. But there you go. We're talking about now 5,000 gold in favor of Domino. It was 10,000. You just lost a digit there. It's kind of hard. It's half of what you had. And it was a 5v4 as well. That window was opened by London on a 4v5. Obviously, perfect dream scenario. But you've dreamt it before and you achieved it once. Can you do it again? Zero is the one getting with the sleeping powder coming in from the Lilia, but he's not going to pull the trigger. He's waiting for something better. Will the seed connect with 2 or 3 of them? Not even one at this point. As the turret collapse is going to soak it in. And 2 super minions are approaching on the mid lane. They have to deal with this one. While the last inhibitor is staying strong. Another swirl is not going to connect with any target. They want to go for the Vados. But the Vados is just way too slippery right now. 3 items of attack speed is going to provide them so much damage. Porcupine wants to go in, and now Lilia is starting to get the poke in. Hellman going way too low. Oh, it's going to be the Yumi pulling the lost chapter, but the book is now closed. That is a big countdown as the Super Big Fun is on the front line. He's going to sustain himself with the God Drinker, and slowly but surely, look at the lives getting taken down. They have to go back to the fountain, and this allows the minions to just walk in into the base. Jamara, this is a slow and insidious death.
It really isn't. Supers in the mid lane, shoving up bottom side as well. Domino, however, doesn't seem like they look very confident in trying to contest it unless they can try and find some kind of pick, but seems like no pick is necessarily in the offing, and these super creeps are shoving up. They're just going to be cleared out slowly.
They have to do it, and from now on they have to clear 6 super minions every 30 seconds. If they can do it without having any sort of blows, Hellman by himself, that was a bad positioning coming in from Vados. So they know right now Vados doesn't have access to Flash. They have a Lulu, but there's a window.
Yeah. The Flash is really, really important here. The cleanse doesn't really get you out of enough, realistically. If you have to reposition against the likes of an Irelia and an Aatrox and you don't have Flash, Lulu isn't going to get you out of that help.
The minions walk in, but there you go. You do not have enough pushing power. You don't have it. Rusty Sniper at 33 minutes as a Sivir has so much clear potential right now. It is the Sivir trying to save them. She has Kraken, Infinity Edge, Lord Dominix, and she's going straight up for the Guardian Angel as one of the inhibitors is going to respond, which means double super minion is going to be dead for now, unless they can take it down one more time. 10 seconds for the Baron, and they are the ones recalling Sejuani. Has teleport available, but I don't think she wants to use it right now. She could use it for the bot lane if they secure the Baron buff.
Definitely could, but be a very, very slow tower taker, which would be another sink of pressure. But Domino really need to control this choke, because if they let London United in, it's going to give London United the access that they need to actually try and find a good team fight. Somebody needs to control this choke.
Double super minions on the bot line, joining 2 of them. The Lullaby is not going to connect, but it's going to be Silent jumping into the front of the fight.
So
and look at Hellman by himself. He wants to get protection. Porcupine is delivering that one, and he's going to take the soul of the Aatrox right now. Is this enough? Porcupine trying to hold on Sarge. And remind yourself that Sejuani just TP'd to the bot line, and Porcupine is alone. He's in the area now. He's corrupting everyone. He's the one doing all the work.
Oh,
and look at Silent with no HP, with no minions to protect the Nexus. It seems like London United are finally going to be brought to the ground, to their knees by Domino as the last game for the NLC Division 2.
I can't believe it, man. Of every way for this game to end, I didn't expect it to be a backdoor. I just didn't. Like,
and again,
you did call it as soon as you saw it. You was like, Sidon has teleport. That bottom wave is crashing. I'm just saying. And you were right. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you know what? Honestly, not commiserations. Well, commiserations to London United for losing the game, but definitely well done for making that as competitive as it looked towards the end of it, because that was an 11k gold lead at peak, I believe. And realistically, that game looked done from like minute 15. But to hold out for as long as you did, really good stuff. Definitely, very convincing though from Domino for that period of time where they held control. Worrying that turned into a game as close as it was, but definitely very much a good sign that they were able to recognize the window that they had to close out through that teleport on the bottom side, as Porcupine in that team fight looked like he was going to take over, even if it did look like London United had a pretty good angle to potentially take a win.
We have a lot to talk to these players, so let's jump into a small break and we will be right back with them to deliver you what happened throughout this entire game. I'll see you soon.